let's talk about what this video is not. So this is not me trying to convince you to do what I did or convince you that I'm right. This is me explaining to you my rationale for buying two brand new motorcycles that do almost the exact same things and letting you tell me if I was justified to do this or not. So let me give you a very quick story of how we ended up here. January 2021, I started my first channel, Throttle Blip, which is 99.9% Harley Davidson content. Now, I love Harley Davidson, and I especially love the bike that I just finished building for that channel, but that's not all I did. I was not just a Harley Davidson guy. I enjoyed riding off-road, maybe a little more than I enjoyed riding my Harley, so I decided it was time to start this channel, Throttle Blip Metric. Ended up with this bad boy. This is a 2023 Honda CRF450RL that I've also been building. You can see a lot of those videos on this channel, so check those out if you're interested. I've put them in a playlist so you can see. They don't show everything done to the bike, but I will do a video showing everything I've done to it up until this point. Now, I absolutely love this Honda. This thing was amazing. As a matter of fact, here, let me show you. I'll give you guys a walk around of this bike, kind of talk very briefly about what's been done to it. Full Yoshi exhaust system, the Takomoto Get SX1 ECU, the IMS tank with the Takomoto breather valve, different gas cap, little stuff, but still stuff that's been done. Cannot recommend enough. Molecule Motorsports skid plate. This is the best skid plate on the market, and I'll stand behind that. Also done their hand guards on this bike. Painted my fender black so I could be a cool Baja guy, which is also a precursor to what may be coming for up here. Works connection clutch. I dumped the bike, bent mine, and decided let's upgrade. If you've ever used a work connection clutch, you know what I mean. It's just, you can't beat it. Obviously, seat concept seat. Didn't go with the comfort, went with the element because I like to keep that sleek style of the seat, so it is still narrow in the front, a little bit wider in the back. Then I did the Source off-road tail section, which turns the tail section of this bike into a 450X instead of the RL, which means you cut your subframe off. So if you want to put luggage, don't do it. If you want the cleanest tail section available for these bikes, it's this. This is your tail light. These are the turn signals from Source. You're not going to get any cleaner than that. Then I use their signals in the front, and a big selling point for me on that was when you dump the bike, which at this point, this one's been dumped about 5 times now, nothing too major, but you can see that I actually ride this thing. But when you dump it, you don't have signals on the back or the front that are gonna get knocked off, which absolutely is gonna happen. Now, back to the story. I've got about 650 miles on this bike, and I absolutely love it. Now, what have I been riding with this bike? I've been riding a lot of double track, a lot of fire roads, been doing some on-road with it, not nearly as much, just because I have bikes to ride on road, so I wanted more of a purpose-built machine. And this thing is amazing. The bike in its stock form was really good. The upgrades that I've done to it have made it that much better. And in my opinion, there isn't anything better than this bike out there for what I was doing with it. Fast forward to about 3 weeks ago when I took this thing up to Iron Mountain with a bunch of my friends who were riding enduro style bikes. Now, this thing did absolutely amazing in everything that we rode except for single track. So what happened was, you know, I was doing fine, hanging with everybody, and it was what it was. And I've never really ridden true single track until that time, but I quickly fell in love with it. So the next day out, I hop on a guy's Beta 300. Now, instantly, I felt 10 times better, more fluid, able to do more of the technical stuff easier. So with that, I decided to hop on a KTM 354 stroke with a Recluse. Same story. The bike is just so much lighter, so much more nimble, able to kind of lug, which is what I figured out with this bike, is what makes it amazing in all of the terrain that I had previously ridden with it was the sheer power that this thing puts out and the responsiveness of the throttle. It's there immediately when you ask for it, super barky, super torquey, and coming from a moto background, that's what I'm used to and that's what I liked, at least on that type of riding. On the single track stuff, this this thing was just not it. So it's roughly 50 to 60 pounds heavier than all the other machines out there doing it. And it also will not lug whatsoever. You're constantly working the clutch, pumping your arms up, just working way harder than you should have to. Which brings us to this bike. Here, let me show you this one as well. So this is the 2024 KTM 300 XCW. Now, I was thinking about going used just because this will only be a single track bike, as I already have a bike to do everything else that I'm very happy with. However, in 24, KTM redesigned the suspension, redesigned the frame, redesigned the body, which doesn't necessarily matter to me, but I figure they're not going to upgrade anything for a good while, so this one should stay kind of current. So I figured, what the heck. Foothills Motorsports, shout out to them. That's also where I bought my Honda. Always takes great care of me. I went up there, they had one in stock, they gave me an amazing deal on it, so here we are. Now this machine will be for single track only. I've yet to ride single track on it as I brought it home yesterday. But what I like about this bike is it's everything that that bike is not. And how could I love that bike so much when I love something that's completely opposite? And that brings me to my point, having the right machine for the right job. Now in some alternate reality, we all think it's possible that if we do enough research and add the right parts and do all the right stuff, we can end up with one single bike that's gonna do it all. And this thing can. I mean, I was still able to ride single track on it. I just wasn't having as much fun as I was on the other bikes. Now on the flip side, if I tried to ride this one where I typically ride this one, I would not be happy. And that's because I know what's possible out of this machine, and this one just ain't gonna do it. But I truly feel that out of these two machines, I have now created the perfect combination of off-road motorcycles. Now you could argue, okay, well, there's no like long distance off-road bike, so no adventure type bike, and that's because I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't camp off of my bike. I don't put a lot of luggage on my bikes. I'm just not interested in that. I typically haul my bike to wherever I'm gonna ride it, unload it, ride the shit out of it, load it back up, call it a day. So for me personally, I feel that these two are gonna accomplish absolutely everything I need. And as much as I love those guys, I won't be back at Foothills Motorsports anytime soon, at least not to buy another new motorcycle. That's gonna be it for this one, guys. I truly do want your feedback. Should I have just made this one work? Should I have gotten another bike to start with that maybe would be more capable at doing it all? If so, which bike is that? I would love to hear your feedback. Or did I do the right thing by having two bikes, but I messed up with one or the other? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you're not already. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.